7 minutes past 8. Welcome back to Sunrise Daily. Well, Honorable Leo Oga, who is the majority leader in the House of Reps, joins us also from our studios in Abuja. Morning, Honorable, and thank you for joining us today. Well, continuing our discussion on this $9.3 million deal, we just spoke with Honorable Samson Osagie. He raised a number of issues, chief of which is suggestive that they want the matter not to even be mentioned. He spoke about principal officers, which he says himself was not even privy to that briefing, which you alluded to in the earlier reports we played. Are we trying to hide this from Nigerians?
I don't think so. Actually, I'm a bit surprised that, Samson is looking at the subject matter the way he is. Let me first and foremost state very clearly that this subject matter came in as a matter of national urgent importance. The matter, in line with our House rule, was listed the next day. But for reasons best known to the mover of the motion, he didn't take it. He left the matter for about 3 days, and the Senate started their own investigation in respect of the subject matter. Now, after about 3 days, he came up and said, oh, he still wants to take the subject matter. Already, the Senate was investigating this issue. You saw the Chief of Army Staff, the Chief of Defense Staff, and the host of all the military officers in the investigation. So we felt, well, this investigation is already ongoing. Well, what is the point? Let's wait till the Senate finish their own investigation, because it is a little bit unparliamentary for us to be investigating what the Senate is investigating at the same time. And on the basis of that, with some of the facts that were available to us, we said, well, this investigation is totally unnecessary at this particular time. Whatever the Senate comes out with, since it's the same National Assembly, we can take a look at it, because it is the same issue of the $9.3 million that was being discussed.
Honorable, a lot of people will say that that stance is rather convenient, because the House or the National Assembly is not exactly known to operate in that particular manner. We will recall very vividly the subsidy brouhaha. The Senate had apparently started its investigations before the House of Reps. In fact, they started theirs in December. The House waded into the matter the following year, but it would seem that everybody followed more what was happening in the House of Representatives. So why was the House of Representatives shying away from this particular matter? Why did it seem rather convenient that because the Senate was taking its own, the House of Reps said, let us step back on the matter?
Well, first, let me also state clearly that, before this decision was taken, we actually went into what we call an executive session. And in that executive session, there were some high-class revelation in respect of which my brother Samson alluded to, as it borders on the purchase of arms, and clearly we decided to embark on what we call some level of legislative diplomacy. There we asked the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Right Honorable Aminu Waziri, Tamboa, to relate with the Speaker of the House of Representatives in the United States as it borders on the Leahy Amendment, or rather the Leahy Law, that have created some level of bottlenecks for us in respect of arm purchases. Those informations were all made available clearly to us. And when we looked at the whole subject matter, we felt that, well, what is the big deal about this whole subject matter? First and foremost, we realized that the purchases of arms from America has not arrived. Arms and armament that were supposed to arrive about the month of August. To date, we've not been able to receive. The ones we are expecting from Europe have not also come in. Those were the information that were given to us definitely in the executive session. And you are also mindful of the fact that our brothers and sisters in the Northeast are being slaughtered on a daily basis as rams. Mindful also of the fact that, some hoodlums are hosting flags that are not of our nation in our soil. And our government, probably through an intermediary, decided to take some alternative. I don't think, we want to oppose such an arrangement, no matter how you want to look at it, And sincerely for me, Whatever we need to do to resolve this so-called unacceptable insurgent or terrorists ravaging our lands, it is very, very important that we must do all we can within our responsibility to support the government. Because you see, you will not appreciate it till you are there. If it happens to you personally or your relatives, it is then you will really understand what is happening in Northeast. You can imagine the barbaric attitude of this group of hoodlums that keeps slaughtering innocent souls for no justifiable reason of theirs. And for me, or rather for us as a people, we must do everything within our legislative ambit to support the government.
I think that is
my reason for not actually supporting this investigation at this particular minute was that I consider it totally unnecessary. I really don't see anything outrageous in it. First, I believe that these funds were moved to South Africa to purchase arms, no matter the explanation you want to give. If for any reason there are challenges, we need to look at the issues of the challenges and address them rather than to come to the national television and start shouting, why did we have to do this or why do we have to do that? I consider that very, very unnecessary. Essentially, again, when the Senate has actually carried out this, when the Senate is already on, carrying on this investigation. So for me and for some of us, it was more like wasting some legislative time, and we decided that we should continue with other legislative issues.
Well, for a lot of Nigerians, I think they will disagree with you, knowing full well that, everyone would definitely be glad to see an end to insurgency in the country. But again, hashtag what happened in the last football, how Ghana moved cash. A lot of people saw that to their players. But these are security issues. And you say some key individuals were in the know as to the purpose for this particular money. But for Samson Osagie, who is also someone in the House that you wouldn't want to say is not part of those that should know, he said, well, you just heard him, he's not in the know. Who and who were in the know about this particular movement of this cash for this purpose, which you just highlighted?
Let's address the subject matter. We were properly briefed that these funds were actually moved specifically for purchase of arms. And definitely as a party, we would definitely protect the party's interests. It is not really a general discussion. It was not. It was a discussion at the principal officers level of the party itself. And we were properly briefed because definitely we want to find out what actually is going on. And at that particular level, we were clearly told that these funds were meant for purchase of arms and armament. And it was not really something that was, taken out of the country for any other reason. I have explained clearly to you the challenges we are having in respect of arm purchases. And, no nation, no chief security officer of any country will sit down and watch his people being slaughtered. He will go the extra mile to make sure that, he defends the citizens of that country. It is unfortunate that, these developments have come up.
Were not carried along?